getting closer and closer. Closer and closer to kickoff, baby. Yeah. All this commentating, talking. Tennessee. It's gonna be all about them pads, baby. All about them pads. Can't wait. So yeah, man, today we gonna answer some questions, man. There's some questions that been kind of hanging out there. So we go set the record straight today. We go open up the phone lines, we go freestyle, and we go talk about the news of the hour. Alright? Because the news of the hour is basically, man, the Dallas Cowboys on the receiving mission. We gonna talk about it. I've been seeing a lot of commentary about this, a lot of thought. But we go definitely answer that question today, for sure. We go talk about it and what it means to the Dallas Cowboys, what it means to our offense. Are we in a crisis? How we're gonna likely handle it? Does it make sense to handle it the way that they gonna likely handle it? So, you know, like always, man, we gonna measure this old Kool-Aid before we drink, man. Cause like I always say, it's a big thing for me to say I drunk Kool-Aid without measuring. You ain't gonna never see it. I'ma always do my best to measure this Kool-Aid. Got to, man. Too much bad Kool-Aid out here, big dog, to be just drinking anything. Y'all give me a second, man. Let me build this plane. I'll be right back. I see you. My boy Renell. Boy come in the door. Talking about he liked his shirt already. Already, big dog. Yes, indeed. Appreciate that. My boy said he liked his shirt already. Man, y'all see that? Man, that's how to do it, dog. Like this, share. Yo! My boy Rome in the house. I see you, big dog. I see you. My boy say, woo! My boy Rome be checking boys. That boy Rome be rolling on Twitter. Yeah, that boy say, these boys that say to your friend, they not your friend, big dog. I said, yes, I know all too well, bro. A lot of two faces out here, dog. Hey, that's because you blowing up, bro. That only happens when you're a threat. That only happens when you're a threat, big dog. That's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah. That only happens when you're a threat, big dog. I had to hit my button, man. I messed up my button, bro. That button right there. All right, let me turn it down, man. I'm messing up all the buttons today. But, man, I see y'all. I see y'all in the building, bro. I see y'all already in the building, man. Yeah, my boy, Asthma is, he said Rome cold-blooded. Yeah, he is. That boy keep it straight fed, bro. That dude don't play no games. He keep it out. Yeah, he plays no game. My boy he say, I just be speaking my mind, dog. I'm humble, but I'm not gullible. Feel me? Say, listen, I got a new button just for you, bro. I'm gonna break this button out for you. This is just for you, big dog.
Dracarys.
I got some new buttons. Man. I'm gonna hit this one too, just for my boy Rome. A new button just for Rome. Here we go.
Dracarys.
Ooh, we burning them balls up today. We not playing no more. Yeah, man. We got some new fire buttons, man. Oh man, that wasn't the right button. Hey, but y'all already know. It is what it is. All right, so anyway, man, we gonna be talking about some of these receivers real quick, and I'm gonna get into the sauce, get right into the meat. All right, so obviously with the what's happened is we lost James Washington, and the loss of James Washington stirred up a lot more conversation. All right, let me organize my stuff real quick. Let me keep my stuff organized before I can really take off like a rocket. But yeah, it caused more talk because it was already concerned about receiver, right? And I'm gonna open up them phone lines, Rome, bro. You already know, Rome. Please call in, bro. Call in, big dog. As a matter of fact, I can call you. Just let me know if you want me to call you, man. We can get it in and freestyle. But real quick, it started and it escalated the conversation even more when James Washington went down. Okay. So, but it was already a concern. It was obvious. So, and I'm gonna just kind of take us through what's been happening in this whole process. It's been a lot of minds coming together on receiver, on the offense. We go kind of break this down. We go take some calls. I want us also to talk this through. I think I see what's gonna happen. I think I know exactly what's going on. But because freestyle is a show to where y'all have input, y'all might be able to talk me into things, talk me out of things. I ain't gonna act like I got the full handle on everything. I know I don't. All right. But what's been happening is, like, I've been really listening and seeing, and I did this show. If y'all remember, I was upset when I did this show. I tried to be cool. I tried to be relaxed, but I couldn't because they was coming out and it was too obvious that this offense, and it was confirmed through Will McClay and Kelly Moore, that this offense does not center around anyone. So I did this show about 5 days ago. Little did I know, at the same time, Jay Tuck was tossing and turning in his sleep trying to figure out the offense. And so about 3 days ago, he also came up with something similar. All right. And I'm going to start using what he said because it breaks it down a little bit easier. He calls it the no ID offense. I think that's the best way to say it. Okay. And we did a joint show on this because our minds came together on this and we was basically seeing it. Now, from totally different parts of the country, we are literally seeing the exact same thing. And what's crazy is we came to the same conclusion walking a totally different path. I was looking at my clues, my homie was looking at his clues, and we both came out like
Dracarys.
higher. Yes, with the exact same answer. So I'm gonna go through just a little bit of the history. Just a little bit, because I ain't gonna beat this horse again. And then I'm gonna talk about what's likely getting ready to happen at receiver. And we go take some calls and even see, does this even make sense? All right? Because it could. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. There's a chance that I can be wrong about this. It's a chance that Emmitt Smith is wrong. It's a chance that Michael Irvin, Aikman, it's a lot of names. Kurt Warner, Romo, Dez, Cooper, Gallup. There is a chance. Y'all heard me out. There's a chance that we are all wrong and that this system stuff is gonna work. But that's a lot of people who beating the drum against it, dog. It's a lot of people warning against it. But so let's just recap just a couple important things before I take some calls. All right. So the first thing we go recap is, and just prove in 2 minutes what this offense is, just real quick. And then we go talk about receiver. Here we go.
He's a viable option because he's always in the right spot. He's doing the right things. The offense doesn't center around anybody. Center around anybody. The offense doesn't center around anybody. The offense doesn't center around anybody.
Yeah. So it's clear that that he telling you this offense. So I know Coach Maul for years, and or at least a year, and a lot of people have been talking about what is our identity. And it is like he said, this offense does not center around anybody. It's not star driven like other offenses. It's not. All right. And if you look close, Jay Tuck, he pulled an article. I'm talking about pull some real work. Y'all hear me? Some real work. Let me. I gotta hit a button for my dog, man. You know when you get some new buttons, you go wear them out.
Dracarys.
Wait, man, we get new buttons, we go crazy. All right, look. So the last part, especially that in the red, is where I'm gonna highlight. All right, and it say, well, apparently Bossy was the Seinfeld of college. No, let me start at the identity part. So in the middle, it say coordinators pride themselves on establishing identities. It's what we do. Is a common mantra among the coaching profession. Urban Meyer at Florida has his spread option. Chip Kelly at Oregon has his QB run game. Steve Sarkisian at Washington has his pro-style offense that he developed at USC. Well, apparently Boise was the Seinfeld of college football. Their lack of identity is their identity. And Jay Tuck found this literally from 2010. 2010, dog. That's how far back this concept goes, bro. Good question. Good question. I think this is the key question right here from my boy Rome. Fantastic question. Rome said, what if Kellen evolves? Kellen took the job at 30. He 34 now. That's a lot of growth. I was a different person at 30 and 34. Yeah, he could. He could evolve. The only problem I see, Rome, is I don't see any signs that he's evolving. I'm seeing signs of staying the same. Because when you seeing everybody talk the exact same language of no ID offense, no identity offense. So that's what I'll start calling it, okay? Just so we can kind of shorten it and everybody can, because I used to have these long-winded ways of saying it. The system, and I used to, there's no ID, Jay Tuck was like the no ID. It makes sense to me. So with this system, he can evolve, but I'm gonna go through Rome and I'm gonna talk about what's likely gonna make him evolve, okay? Because this is the good part too. He don't have to do much, in my opinion, because his offense is already statistically top 5. But to me, it's not built for a championship. I think he need one tweak for it to be championship ready. And this is the tweak. I'm gonna say the tweak. The tweak is this. In the big games, that's when you need an identity. See that no ID? I like it. I'm cool with the no ID when we the better team. I don't like the no ID when we going up against championship caliber teams, the San Fran's, the Green Bay's, the Kansas City. Those guys that you pretty much know go be in the top 5 or the bottom 8 in a tournament. You know what I mean? The bottom 4, the final 4. When you go against them type teams, that's when I like how Coach Marv said, that's when your dogs need to eat first. And that's the adjustment. And it's just an adjustment. It's not even, we not even saying do a whole install. We just saying in those big games, get off with the guys that got paid to get off. Because you can't even get them big contracts unless you earned it and you showed that you made for the moment. You know what I'm saying? So that's the evolving, in my opinion, Rome and everybody else, that he can do. That simple adjustment. So nobody is saying do an overhaul of this whole offense. I don't even think that's possible. I'm more so saying in the big games, target your dogs. This no identity offense, no. When it's big games, yeah, the identity is now CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Zeke, Pollard. That's the identity now. You know what I mean? Is that we finna feed you a whole lot of these stars. You know what I'm saying? What's up, JC Cowboys Network, man? We got another YouTube in the building. I see you, big dog. We always want to recognize the homies, man, that's putting in that work for the nation. And we got us a super chat. So let me take this super chat. He said, OG, if we know our D offense, does that mean our opponents will dictate our... Yeah. Yeah, Lamar. That's exactly what that means. And that's exactly what we do. We allow the defense to dictate where the ball is going under the no ID. That's exactly what it is. Hey, Sheila, how you doing? But that's exactly what it is. So yes. So, but I would want them to change to an identity offense in the big games, because then it's a change up. It's a change up. It's basically saying, oh, you thought we was gonna come out here and we was gonna try to spread the ball around? Now we finna give you a healthy dose of our best guys. That would be the change that we need to do. All right, but I was establishing before I take these calls. I was establishing first what this is, and I'm trying to explain it so everybody can really see it, because once we see it, we can kind of get on the same page on how to lobby against what's not best, if it's not best. So here we go. So just to explain a couple of more things about this no identity offense, it's about spots and timing. Okay, we beat this drum a lot. Now I'm gonna get into these receivers, but first I want to explain this. So this was Dak Prescott. Okay, this was Dak Prescott, and he was talking about Dennis Houston, and he said Cowboys Dak Prescott lights up when talking about wide receiver Dennis Houston, the way franchise QBs seldom do with undrafted rookies. He's where I expect him to be on each and every play. And he's coming back and asking about things, communicating about things. Tough, resilient player. So we already beat the drum and showed over and over and over and over again that this offense is not about the athletic ability of your weapons, but it's more so about you being able to read the defense and adapt and go to a certain spot. So in this offense, this is an offense that's similar to New England, where you can't just have playmakers. You got to have people that's smart, cerebral, that's seeing exactly what Dak is seeing at the same time. That's the key to this offense, is everybody got to see the same thing at the same time. And if you do, and if y'all are seeing the same thing, this offense will have you generally a step ahead, especially going against a zone, where it can get you caught up if it's going against man. And that's getting into the weeds, but here we go. Just listen to this real quick, because I got to explain this. Let me turn this music down. I think I got that music too loud. Yeah, that music is too loud. Let me turn it down just a little bit more. All right, here we go. So listen to Jerry real quick, and this is go confirming even more. So y'all listen. Here we go. And this is fresh. I never played this on the channel. All of this is in the description too. Everything that I'm playing, I put in the description. I do follow the fair use principles. Here we go. Listen.
Until Michael Gallup gets fully healthy and ready to go, who provides you outside of CD? Who provides you that kind of ability to get downfield here on this team as of right now?
Well, I think Tolbert can do that, but you're actually, I think, referring to just your speed or your time. And but we've got some guys out there, some of these younger guys that can get deep. Yeah. But here's the thing, Dak is going to throw the ball as well as anybody I've ever seen to the right guy.
To the right guy. Okay, let's keep listening.
He knows how to read the defense.
Right. He know how to read the defense.
And he has the pocket presence to get that read. And so the key thing is if everybody will run the routes the way they're supposed to, there
If everybody will run the routes like they supposed to,
will be somebody open.
There it is.
And I think
I
he's
hear
as
that.
good as there is.
I hear that coaching point loud and clear. Yeah. Run the routes the way they're supposed to be.
And by the way, if you will do that, you will take some guys with you
Yes.
that open it up for somebody else.
that is, again, the no ID offense. There it is again. So, now, with us being fully caught up on the no ID offense, right? Where this offense is really not about featuring anybody. It's not. So, with that understanding, now we can talk about some of these receivers. Because we have receivers that, and we go talk about potentially what to do and what's likely gonna happen. So we got two sets of receivers, all right? I'm gonna take some calls after this. I'm gonna take a break and take some calls. We got the free agent receivers, the Antonio Browns, right? Let's just kind of look at them. The Coles. Then we obviously have Sanders. Then Odell. Free agents, right? We could pick them up right now if we wanted to. Will Fuller. Okay. Yeah. So those are your free agents. Then you have guys that would be trade option guys. Okay. So with the trade option guys, you would have to give up something for these guys. You would have to give up a draft pick likely, right? And these are the guys that are also rumored to either be value options wanting out, and their names are being leaked as potential trade deals, okay? And so, let's take a call real quick. I'm gonna take a pause, and then we go get into each one, and we go talk about whoever y'all want to talk about, but then I can take some of these names as we go through it, and we can even go one by one and just see what makes sense and then what time it makes sense. So let's open up the phones first, though, because I've been talking a while. Yep, exactly, Keystone. First of all, let me take this comment by Keystone. And we gonna come back to that. We definitely coming back to this fire super chat. That boy Keystone said, Jerry said no urgency. Remember? He sure did. And so we gonna talk about that, big dog. Let me get these phones. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Boss, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Coach?
Yeah, man, I didn't ever get a chance to talk to you about this offense, man, but I just want to give you a little coaching aspect about what I feel about this offense. And follow me on this. This offense, and I agree with you that this offense, based off what I see, based off what they took and helping us figure out what type of offense it was, I don't think this offense is a totally bad. I think it just has to be tweaked a little bit. And I think, as we say, targeting our people and making the defense hurt for not respecting our stars. Yeah. But when we talked about this offense, and we look at the season last year, and we look at the bigger games, where you have a little bit better defenses, or better teams, and we remember, I want the fans to remember, a lot of the times it looked like our offense was confused because teams were playing a lot of junk type defenses, changing looks, because they understood, they kind of honed in that we just like to do certain things and get guys at certain spots. I even look at that, if you go back to the Kurt Warner video, it showed when he was talking about one of the linebackers, I think it was the Kurt Warner video, where one of the linebackers for the other team at the snap was running to cover a spot, but we were trying to attack at the snap because I think they had figured out exactly with our system of where we like to put receivers, and they were not going to divert from that. They were going to go to those same spots. Okay? Well, that has, you can get in trouble, like you had said in the show, that if teams start getting you false looks, they can dictate to you what they want you to do, and sometimes those are traps that you fall into.
Oh my God. That's the key thing, what you just said right there. That is the key thing.
They can be traps.
It's the traps. Yeah.
That's right. They can be traps.
Hold on, before you go, Coach. Coach, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me explain that real quick, because obviously you got a lot of people that's listening that's on different levels. Let me explain that. So, because this system offense, or the no ID offense, is built on the principle of aggressively taking what the defense gives, and they kept saying it, the whole thing is just like, and this is a perfect example, a whole lot of people want us to use a lot of pre-snap motion, because when you use pre-snap motion, you make a defense think, because you're changing. Sometimes you're changing strengths and all kind of stuff, and it can lead to a mistake. It's the exact same thing with a defense disguising their looks pre-snap, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get Dak and his weapons to be on different pages, which is going to make them hesitate, and that's what causes it to be a trap. But if it was an offense that was just based on playmaking, well, I'm still going to give CeeDee Lamb, for example, my first read, because I'm expecting him to win, regardless of what this defense does. So that's what Coach is saying when he say these defenses will show a different look to try to get you to make a mistake. They'll show a totally different look than what they're actually doing. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. Now, when I unpacked what y'all had in the video about when Tuck showed that beautiful graphic about when we went no huddle, our success rate was like very high. When we went play action, our success rate was very high.
Yeah.
I went back and I said, okay, let me go back to the San Francisco game. And I looked for these things that we were very successful and our rate was really high. And I noticed that we didn't do none of those things on a consistent basis. So this is a problem. If you have success rates in there, that's not losing your offense, Kellen, and I'm talking to Kellen.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to utilize in your offense what makes you successful, right?
Right.
Then I thought about something else from a coaching aspect. From a defensive aspect, if I was a defensive coordinator, which I did defensive coordinator first.
Mm-hmm.
When you start playing games with offensive coordinators by giving them fake looks and trying to move safeties around, give a very exotic looks, give looks at pre-snap, and then run back to spots where you want to, try to trap an offense into doing something you want them to do.
Yep.
This is what can hurt you, and what stabilizes the defense, and what stops is two things that stop a defense from playing games. One, if you run the football and you committed to the run, you cannot play games in the secondary because you compromise run support. Okay? And it could turn a 5-yard run could turn into a 20-yard run because you're playing games and guys are out of position. The second thing, when you start playing games and you end up playing games and you leave a guy like CeeDee Lamb one-on-one because you're trying to force them into other things, and you say, well, they're not going to catch this, and we leave a CeeDee Lamb one-on-one, and they decide to go and say, we're just going to attack that one-on-one, and it ends up in the guy bumping his head against the goalpost, when you come back to the sideline, the head coach is going to tell the defensive coordinator, we need to stop playing those games and make sure that we solid on their stars. So when you start playing this system offense and you start doing stuff and you allow the defense to dictate to you, they play games. But if you do certain things, you can cut out all the games and your system will work. That's why when we ran the ball, we had no problem with the system, because teams had to stabilize themselves and they couldn't play those cover 4, come into cover 2, cover 3 at the snap, moving around, moving run support, because you were committed to running the football, and you had to have, and you may explain this, boss, to the viewers. When I say about run support, defense is made in layers. Defensive line, linebacker, secondary. When you compromise one of the layers of your defense, if one person make a mistake, it can turn into a big play.
Yeah.
So I think Kellen had the strategy, but I think he got a little bit, sometimes, boss, sometimes you get outsmart yourself and you start tinkering with things and keep trying to change things and putting new plays in and draw new plays up, because you say stuff is working and you try to overthink things, and then you can run yourself into a point where you run yourself totally out of what works well for you.
Yeah. I mean,
because we didn't have no problem with the offense at the beginning of the season, and I understand what you're saying, but there were certain measures in that offense that made Kellen Moore's system work. But when he got into the point of leaving the things that were successful, the formations, the motion, the no huddle, the play action pass, he got very predictable. And this offense, with the system offense, if you get predictable in it and you don't stabilize people with certain things, they'll start playing games with you, and they'll make this offense very hard, and they'll cause you to make mistakes and get frustrated.
Let me take this super chat real quick, and we go talk about what you just said, Coach. I got shanked by the butt, and I said, Jerry just said, run the routes the way that we're supposed to be ran so that the person can take defenders with them to open it up for others. So we got rid of Amari for what reason? Right. I mean, exactly, man.
Can I say something about that super chat? Boss is very interested about that, right?
Yeah.
And this is not in your presentation, but remember early in the season when they were talking about the receivers and Jerry was talking about and they was asking why the receivers weren't getting over, because he said, well, about receivers got to run their routes. This was back when we started struggling.
Yep.
And he was
blaming Amari.
Remember at the end of the season, he talked about Amari Cooper, that he was like, if you have a number one receiver, he should draw so much attention. He said this during the season. So this word that he's saying now was talked about during the season.
Yeah. Yeah. This was obvious that Amari was blamed. That's what happened.
Right.
I mean, anybody that can read the tea leaves, and you could tell Jerry Stephen is bought in to this system. That goes back to the original question, can Kellen adapt? Yeah, he can. But the signs are he's not. You know what I mean? Because like you say, we're hearing the same stuff we was hearing last year. Like, yeah, he can change, but it's almost like, y'all forget this example. I mean, she been cheating on you, big dog. Yeah, she can change, but she still go to the club every Friday and Saturday. And don't come home at 4 in the morning. Dog, she cheating on you, dog.
Yeah, but boss, I look at this, man. I've been I'm an old school coach, right? And the analytics has been taking over football, right?
Yeah.
Everybody talks about analytics, right?
Mm-hmm.
When y'all had the presentation, when you and Jay Tuck had the show, when you show a chart up there with 5 things on it, and our success rate is either 1 or 2%, one or two in five of those things, wouldn't analytics tell you that the analytics telling you that you must do those things more because they are successful and not do them less? So we got the smart guy, the young guy who's an analytical guy, who's not even looking at the analytics of his own offense.
Somebody asked me, does this channel support the LGBTQ community? I mean, we don't give nothing to
We support all Cowboy fans, whoever they are.
Yeah, like I don't even understand why is this even relevant, you know.
We support all Cowboy fans, and leave it at that. We support all Cowboy fans.
Yeah, I'm cool with the LGBTs. They do y'all thing, brother. Do y'all thing. Don't make me no difference. Right. Do your thing. All right, but
go ahead and say what you had to say. What I said about the you know, because you know defensive backs. You know how games guys play with defensive backs, and you know you can play games in defensive back and change coverage and leave yourself vulnerable. And if you get hurt with that, you know when you come to the sideline, they say, "Hey, we're gonna cut them games. Let's play a little bit straight now. We can't get hurt like that no more."
All right, Coach. Let me show this real quick. But you gonna have to be quiet for a minute while I explain this.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Just real quick. All right. So Coach made this is the point that Coach made. To me, that was the point of the whole show. I gotta hit you with a fire for this, Coach. Hold on. Cover your ears, everybody. It's gonna be loud.
Dracarys.
Okay. Coach said when you run the ball, you can't play them gimmicky change-up games. You can't. That's one of the key reasons why we should run the ball. Because if we don't, we go lose the chess match. So I want y'all to listen, because we lost to Arizona. And when we lost to Arizona, Buda Baker said why they had an advantage. I want y'all to listen. Listen.
Buda, you guys showed a lot of different things to Andy tonight. Can you just, I guess, talk?
He meant Dak.
About the game plan going in and how Vance had it set up for you guys to do what you did tonight?
Yeah, the game plan going was we knew that they were going to try and get Zeke the ball early, and we knew they were going to try and maybe boot or game with Andy being, you know, first start as a Cowboy. And for us, we just try to show different looks. You know, when it was too high, we try to show one high.
When it was too high, we tried to show what? One high.
And when it was one high, we tried to show by just showing him.
When it was one high, we tried to show two high.
Different looks, and trying to get him confused because, you know, he that was his first, so it was pretty hard for him. We knew that Andy Dalton's a great QB. We knew that if we were just going to show our looks, he was going to dice us. So we had.
Yeah. And he was talking about Dak. He said Andy because the reporter said Andy, but he was talking about Dak. This was the press conference after the Cardinals beat us in 2021. And see, you can't do what he talking about based on what Coach said. You can't do all this showing one high when you're getting ready to do two high and two high when you're getting ready to do one high, because that ball is coming at your neck anyway. And what Coach said, this was the key thing that Coach said, is you gonna have to abandon that to stabilize stopping the run, and then it opens up your system. That was the key thing that Coach said. Go ahead, Coach.
And see, what he was saying is they did the different looks so they can make you one-dimensional. See, they would show one high to deter you because you in this thing and saying, I'm going to do what the defense give you. So when you come down, Dak sees this one high, safety come down, then they may have a run play call. He does a check. Now they go back to too high. Now he's checking into a bad play.
Right.
But sometimes you got to impose your will on teams where you still run and it's still a positive. And it's still, just because the guy that's down in the box don't mean a run play can't be successful, because you got two great backs.
Right.
And then if that happens, right, this is what happens to the defense. And I'm talking from a defensive mindset. If I play that game and I come down and I try to deter you from running, and then you still run it anyway, the next time you fake that run and run a play action, that's why play action was so high in success rate. You really got the defense in a disadvantage.
Right.
Because now you're imposing your will and you're making them do what you want them to do, not them making you do what they want you to do.
Right. And that was the Cardinals.
And that's a young coach. And I'm gonna say this right quick. A young coach has that problem because he feels, I was a young coach. I had coaching young coaches. They feel that if they design a play just because the defense is, they'll try to design plays to run away from the defense. And sometimes you have to allow them to know it. Say, hey, sometimes if you hurt a defense when their defense is set for it, you mess up the psyche of the defense, and now the defense really doesn't know what to do. Because now you say, oh man, they was in the box and they still got 10 yards. Now when that defense goes to the sideline, they have don't know what to do, and your defensive coordinator can't make you do what he wants you to do.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. And I would say this last thing, boss. Those people without identity in life and anything, you don't know who you are, what makes you good, right? You end up wandering from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. We know people that they start one thing, then the next thing when you think it's going good, they're doing something else. Then they're doing something else, and they're doing something else. You're like, man, that was working. And then they'll jump to something else before they gave it a chance to really flourish. And that's what this offense looks like when y'all did y'all presentation. You're jumping around, but you got a host of things that work well, and that's his offense. Do the things that work well. We're not telling you to change your offense. Just do the things that work well.
Yeah, but the problem is this: when you say do the things that work well, he not. You know what I mean?
He's outsmarting himself.
Because this whole system is about not having an identity. You know what I'm saying? So that's why versus Tampa, even though we obviously ran the ball well, we abandoned it because we was just taking what the defense gave us. You know what I'm saying? So what you talking about is an identity offense, and we're not an identity offense to where we're going to do what we do well. That's what something another OC would do, but he not gonna do that.
Yeah, something, and this is why we always wanted to talk about why we went away from the run game. What offense, what defensive coordinators do is we would go back and look at the film in the bigger games. They defensive coordinators knew they couldn't handle our running game if we was committed to it. So what they did was load it up to show that we just stopped the running game, and they said we stop it maybe one or two times, then we just load up to stop the pass. And the only thing we got to do is show we're going to stop the running game, and he would run away from it.
Right.
But when he stayed committed to it, like in New England game, they stayed committed to it, and it wore on New England. They stayed committed to it all the way through the third quarter, and then when it got into the fourth quarter, when in the last of the fourth quarter in the overtime, when Dak had to throw the ball, the defense was tired, and when they even faked the running back, the defense reacted, and that's why guys was running wide open.
Right. Yeah. So the question is he gonna do it? That's gonna be the big question, and that's why we're talking about receivers today. And we go get into these receivers.
I would say this, and Bob, before we get into that, I think for me personally, I put in the chat. I'm not worried about receivers because I believe that CeeDee Lamb is that man, and you look across the league, we don't need a young receivers come in and make their mark every year, but we do have a main receiver, and we have a pretty good tight end. I'm not saying he's a game breaker, but we got a pretty good tight end, and we got two great running backs, and we got a great quarterback. But if they're not used correctly, you bring somebody in. If they're not used correctly, and we don't hit these measures that we need to get to for killing offense to work perfectly, we're gonna bring a guy in to do nothing. He's gonna be floundering.
Yeah.
So that's what we just got to do. And I think this word that we're putting out there is preaching to Kellen that we're not giving up on you. We see great things, but damn, can he see them?
No, he don't see him.
I'm just asking.
He don't.
You know, somebody in that offensive room got to say, man, this is working. Why are we doing something else?
Yeah, they fully committed at giving it another run. It's obvious they getting ready to give it another run. They looking at the data, and to them, this is where I think they messing up. They looking at the data and they saying, man, we number one with no huddle. When we motion, we third. Play action, we second. RPO, we second. Man, this dude Kellen, he okay. Y'all just being some crybabies. You know, that's how they looking at it. It's like, our offense was number one. He ain't got no problems. So I don't think they narrowing it down to what Michael Irvin said. Michael Irvin said it best. He said, when it gets down and dirty. See, that's the key thing that they're not putting together. But it is encouraging from this standpoint. If you listen to Jerry, he also talked about one of the key things that they go do all year is go be physical by running the ball. That's also why he committed to Zeke over Pollard, and a lot of people didn't catch that. He said we committed to Zeke because we need the physicality also that he brings and wearing down a defense. See, that type of language makes me believe that they are going to run the ball.
Yeah, and I think it's sometimes hypocritical when you talk about when he said in an earlier comment about when you're the higher paid players, you're expected to do more. Well, that's hypocritical to your thing about this. That's hypocritical, Jerry, when you say that you going with the system offense because you paying them for a reason. So put the brunt of the big games on them. That sounds crazy to say you chastise guys because you're paying them the most because you expect bigger things from them. But then when you get in the bigger games, you don't go to them. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, let me address that video that I did too, because I think a lot of people misunderstanding that video, and I'm gonna go back into receiver. So, Coach,
great job, man. Great job, man. I think we're making some headway because you can hear when they talk about physicality, and even their practices got a little bit more physical. And boss, our word is spreading, and our voice do matter, man. And I think all the Cowboy Nation, everybody who calls and everybody who comments, everybody who watches these videos, man, we need to like and share because our voice is reaching the building.
It is. All right, Coach.
All right, boss.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Call back if they get scared. You know how it go. All right, check this. So let's take a light break. This happens, to where the room is filling up, and then people coming in, and we just forget to hit that like button. Let's go ahead and hit that like button real quick. Just take a quick pause and hit that like. And that's one of the main things that's growing this channel. Just remember, about 5 days ago, we was at 4,000. We already right now around 4,160. So we already close to a fifth of the way to 5,000. So at this pace, we could be at 5,000 by the end of the month. So that shows you how important hitting likes can be. And I'm going to also say this, you guys have been amazing on the cash. I'm not going to name y'all specifically, but y'all been really doing a good job of super chatting as well as donating to Boss Cowboy Sports, because we got some upgrades we getting ready to do. And y'all been putting notes in there, and I really appreciate it. Y'all been saying, I'm giving you X amount for this video or that video. Y'all really been showing love for the content, and we really appreciate this. So get that like, and let's also get better about sharing content. That's a habit that most of us are not doing. But you can share on your Twitter, you can share to a group, you can share to a couple of your Cowboy friends. That's another way to grow the channel. Even if you're not donating financially, you still helping when you share the content. Because like Tuck said the other day, you not gonna hear anything about no ID offense, and you're not gonna get anybody that puts together the level of detail that this community does. You know, but it's because we passionate about it, and we appreciate all of y'all's support of helping us put out this content. So whether it's a like, share, financial, or just calling in for the show, all of that is what grows. I got another call. Let me take this call. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Yo, what's going on, Boss Cowboy? This Tariq, man.
What's up, Tariq, man? What's your thoughts, bro? On this receiver.
My thoughts are like this. I want to say this first. Share, like, and subscribe, Cowboy Nation. Let's hit them likes. My thing is this, man. Them dudes sounding the same is the same year the year that we spent that first round draft pick on Amari Cooper. They talking about these receivers the same damn way, and the same guy you got rid of is the same guy you could have kept, and we wouldn't even talking about no damn wide receiver.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yes, bro. Yes.
All because they caught up in they damn feelings and ego, and I don't understand Jerry and Steven. They haven't learned yet. This is football, man. Get out your feelings, bro. It's about what's on the field, not what's up in the damn press box. These dudes just don't understand that, man. And I really believe, you know, I got faith in our team. My thing is like this: if we had to go through another phase, with the fact that we got rid of one of our good receivers, now we got to spend a draft pick in the middle of the season to try to save the season. What the hell did we get rid of the dude for? To put him in wide receiver hell over there in Cleveland? Even though I think with Deshaun, when he come back, I still think they're going to be a pretty good team with them two once they get on the same page. But it's like, well, if you're not going to use CD Lamb, I keep hearing the same thing with y'all too. It's like, if you're not going to use CD Lamb as a pure number one, why did you get rid of your number one? That's what I don't understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I keep hearing, like, well, we're going to put him in the slot. We're going to motion him to the other side of the field. We're going to put him in the backfield like Deebo Samuel. Okay, I think a lot of that will work if you just stayed with Amari Cooper to the outside. You know what I mean?
Yep.
These Joneses, man, they kill me, man. They try to tell us the same BS every year off of the moves that they make. Some of these moves be dumb, and we be knowing that as fans, but at the same time, we love our team so much that we gonna support regardless. You know what I mean? And that's why I think like he got his hooks in us as a fan base. You know, I got faith. I do want to see these young guys do their thing, go to the next level. You know, I would like for Jerry and them to shut me up and have me like, yeah, they did, you know, down, you know, if it's possible in the season to be like, okay, they did a damn good job. I see where they're going with this. But it's like when it doesn't work all the way, they come back to the podium with all these damn excuses. You know what I mean? And it's like, for some reason, I feel like every time they make a dumb move, to me, they always trying to make it out for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if Dak's not throwing the ball where it need to go, I don't know what to tell you guys. Stupid shit. I mean, like, what's wrong with these damn Joneses? You know what I mean? You gonna get your money regardless, but damn, put a product on the field that's worth watching, and then we know that once we make the playoffs, we gonna go somewhere. We gonna do something in these playoffs. You know what I mean? Okay, I understand that they got to make their money through the season. You know what I mean? And let's get to the let's expect these wins. I get that. Well, when are they going to take accountability and say, well, damn, we shouldn't have did this, or Kellen Moore is not what we thought he was going to be? You know what I mean? I want to see that. You know what I mean? I want to see. I don't know if it's just me. I want to see Dak get pissed off when things ain't going right and say something to Kellen Moore like, man, get out my face, bro. I ain't feeling what you're saying right now, and walk away from him. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
they
don't see
far
no
from
emotion.
that right now, Tariq.
You know what I mean?
They far from that. Right now, they ain't even, man, the only way you would see that is you would have to see the first 8 games go to complete hell. We're going to talk about that, though, because I got that also in, obviously, my content. I was going to talk about that with receivers. What's up, Producer G, man? Hold on real quick. I got to say what's up to my dog, Producer G. What's up, Producer G, man? I see you up there married, all slim and all of that, big dog. Good to see you, big bro. That's one of them. Listen, y'all would never have the quality that y'all getting with Boss Cowboy Sports without Producer G. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. He is one of the best in the game in terms of working with content creators, because he got everything going over here, because it's very techy. Like all my equipment and everything, me and Producer G talked about it before I ever bought it. He was like, you gonna need this. And we spent some late nights working on all this stuff, putting it all together, making it streamlined. I'm talking about some late nights. So y'all give Producer G a hand real quick. Go ahead. Y'all give Producer G a hand, man. That's the big homie, man. But yeah, go ahead, Tariq. Go ahead.
Now, this is what I want to say. I'm going to land my plane, man. I really believe like this season is on Dak Prescott. I really believe it's between him and Kellen Moore. But I put a little bit more emphasis on Dak, because Dak been in the system for a little minute. And it's time for him to take it to the next level. Now, last year, I understand he was coming back from a serious injury. And serious injury. His brother passed away. His grandmother passed away. I know that man was going through a lot during last season and trying to get back focused on what he had to do. And I understand that. But I really believe, like, this is a new year. He had his mini camp. He got his training camp going on. This is his team. He don't want any guys telling him to throw them the ball and all that, and try to dictate where the ball goes. I really believe it's on Dak. Dak has to step all the way up. I wouldn't mind a veteran wide receiver coming to this team. I don't know who. You know what I mean? I know Washington. What's his name? Washington. I know he probably a little injury prone. Hopefully he can come back. I wouldn't mind nobody like Sanders to come to this team, because I feel like he brings a little bit of attitude that this team probably going to need, because it's a young team. You know what I mean? And he's not a quiet guy.
Hold on real quick.
That's just my opinion.
Hold on real quick. Producer G, Coach Mars say he might need you. So I'll make sure I link y'all up, because obviously Coach Marv, he gonna be working on one day his own YouTube page. Likely working on it now. Producer G will get you right, Coach. He'll get you right through multiple platforms too. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta be one. He can work all of them. The OBS, Streamlabs, vMix. He work all of it. But go ahead.
But yeah, that's all I basically got to say though, man. I just want it's that time to shine. It's that time to shine, and Kellen Moore, they got to do their thing, man. You know, there's no more excuses, man. Y'all done been together for a minute together, so y'all got to let it show on this field. You know.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
It's no excuses.
But all right, though, boss. I'll let you minute out.
Okay, big dog. So good call about Tariq, because it's some thoughts out here. I want to kind of address these thoughts real quick, because I want to keep it real with everybody. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of these receivers would not fit, And I'm going to talk about what's likely getting ready to happen. It goes back to Keystone Super Chat, to where Jerry said he don't see no receiver changes no time soon. He not lying on that. It ain't going to be no changes, y'all. But first of all, let's talk about some names. And I'm going to tell you why likely they don't fit. Okay? So, and we going to talk about the ones that do. Okay? Because I'm going to be honest with you. You can't be a receiver for the Cowboys right now if you have the typical playmaking attitude of your moxie receiver. Anybody that's a dog and that creates with their ability, they're not one. They might want to be here, but they're not gonna want to stay here. That's why some of these dudes are traps. So let's talk about it. So obviously we hear names like Cole Beasley. Okay. So let's talk about Cole Beasley real quick. First of all, Cole Beasley, he wouldn't fit because he didn't fit last time. He had a legitimate critique of the offense, and that was an offense that fed their stars. So say what you want. Say what you want about Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan. It was one key difference about their system and Kellen Moore. Scott Linehan was predictable, but yet they still was productive, because even though he was predictable and the defense knew what was getting ready to happen, he still gave it to those playmakers. So Cole Beasley was frustrated in that system. He would lose his ever-loving mind in this one, to where there's no identity and you can't create with your athleticism. You got to go to a spot. How does Cole Beasley win? Creativity and quickness. So from that, I'm being honest, Cole Beasley wouldn't fit. And he wouldn't fit because he's more one-dimensional. We would need a guy that can play outside and inside. So even though I like Cole Beasley, just being honest, all right, so let's go to another receiver that I keep hearing about. Antonio Brown. Now, if it was about a playmaking system, oh, that button not working. I would say hell yeah. Distractions and all, I would say yes. If it was about, hey, we go take you for a short-term period. But he is absolutely the worst pick in this system. Because, see, he not only the type that would be frustrated, he would be frustrated and be vocal about his frustrations. And he would have a point here. How you go tell a guy like him, go to a spot? He gonna be like, bruh, man, you and Kelly can kick rocks.
Bruh.
That's exactly what he would say. So it's the style of offense is why we gotta. Sorry. But if it was about playmaking, if it was about matchups, I would be cool with that. Let's talk about Will Fuller. Will Fuller, to me, is a good fit because he has the temperament. He's not your typical alpha receiver, right? I gotta have the ball. Why am I not getting the ball? He's the type, because you can't just be a playmaker now. You got to be a playmaker, plus you got to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to do it y'all way, and I'm not going to make no noise. That fit that fit his demeanor. So if it's going to be a receiver, it has to be the right receiver, because most receivers are going to grow real frustrated in this system. Let's talk about another receiver, because this is what this show is about. We talking about the mystery of receiver, right? And what's going to likely happen. I'm going to go through all of this too. I'm going to take y'all all the way through this. We going to walk through the whole logic of this stuff. All right. So then obviously it's Odell Beckham. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. He just like Antonio Brown. I'm going to say the same thing. You might as well put me on repeat. Put me on repeat. Yeah. If this system was like the Rams, where they focused on matchups, then he right. Do it. But you want to get a vocal guy, a passionate guy, a guy that wins with his athleticism, in a system that says, we don't want that. We want you to go to a spot. Put that dude on the shelf and don't take him off. I'm dead ass serious. Unless, now it's a time where you can pick them up, and we go talk about that. We go talk about, because times can change. In the beginning of the season, I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. Stick with your guys. Stick with your guys that's out here. I'm trying to get to a spot because Dax wants me in a spot. Dak want me to get to a spot. Yeah. Ooh, Mickey, you done stole it. Ooh, this is why I love Cowboy fans right here. See, she already way ahead of me. Look at this. God damn, y'all so smart. I swear,
Finish him.
Y'all are the smartest fans. I swear to God. You already went dead into what I was gonna say around week 8. Ooh, man, our fans are smart. I'm gonna come back to that, Mickey. Because see, this is what I'm building up to, is when would this happen? Because everybody that's lobbying for a receiver right now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, you are
wrong.
It ain't happening, big dog.
You are fake news.
It ain't happening.
Wrong.
It ain't happening. See, let me go ahead and get it to the point, Mickey, since I already kind of gave a clue on it. Mickey said week 8. You gotta remember. Thank you, Mickey. You gotta remember, everybody. Remember this. Remember this. This is why I say I'm gonna break down the mystery of receive. I'm gonna break it down, man. We go unravel this mystery. Remember this, dog. When the Dallas Cowboys acquired Amari Cooper. Let me read this. Wide receiver Amari Cooper, the newest Cowboy, could be a boon to shoring up Dallas' inconsistent passing game. According to NFL Next Gen stats, Cowboys wide receivers have averaged just 2.2 yards of separation per target, the lowest of any team this season, and we was 3-4. Let me just ask y'all a question. Who knew that wide receiver was trash game 1? Raise your hand. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew when we came out against the Panthers? Who looked at the receivers game 1 and said, that is trash? Raise your hand. I knew game 1. Guess who else knew game 1? Jerry. Jerry knew. Jerry knew too. Because remember, after game 1, remember what he did in 2017. After game 1, he starts sending a signal to the decision makers in front office who wanted Dez gone. And the next day, I'm talking about the date after they played the Panthers, Jerry Jones was at a concert with Dez. Because he knew it was trash. He knew. But see, this is the sad part, going to Mickey's point, which is why Mickey is smart as hell and showing that she's a true fan and she locked in because she remembered 2017. It took them 8 games, dog, to finally say, okay, we gotta go get something. This ain't working. Let's look at what receiver by committee looked like. This was receiver by committee, and it took them 8 games to abandon it. Man, I can look at that picture and know we should have abandoned it. Just look. The picture alone, you should have abandoned it from the picture. As soon as they took that group picture as the receiving core, it should have got abandoned. Yeah, but the Cowboys took 8 games, dog. So if it, and then Will McClay talked about that it was people in the building lobbying to continue with the course. He said in 2017 that it was people in the building said, let's continue with receiver by committee. Let's go ahead and just rock with it. Let's just. Who would you guess? If you was to guess, who was the person that was still lobbying? We don't know, but I just want to see y'all guess. I'm not going to say it yet. Who would you guess was the people that was lobbying for receiver by committee? Tariq? I agree, Tariq. I think I have a good suspicion who was still lobbying for it. Man, hell yeah, he was lobbying for. I don't care what nobody say, bro. In 2017, I guarantee it was only one person. Well, it was a couple, but I guarantee he was one, man. I guarantee you that. Because wasn't it him that said it took an act of Congress to sign Amari? See, when you say an act of Congress, you got to understand what that means. Everything is a war in Congress, even when it's common sense. In Congress, it can be a clear blue day, and they can say, guess what? If we all vote together, the skies are going to stay blue forever, and it's going to be a true green world, and we're going to be able to have as much commerce as we want. You still would have a fight in Congress. If it was a bill that said all of us could live forever if we just get Congress to agree, it still would be somebody that would veto. All you got to do is look at your local and your federal politics, and you can see politics is nasty. So everybody else, come on, y'all. Everybody else knew from game 1, bruh. Some of y'all before game 1, but most of us, man, at game 1 was like, bruh, this what they was selling us on. Ooh, the offense, Nobody gonna know where the ball is going. We're gonna be able to attack them, and all of these receivers are Dak friendly. Do y'all remember that? Y'all remember they were saying that? These guys are Dak friendly. All of these guys, Dak friendly guys. And it took them 8 games to get rid of this. So they are not lying, Mickey. Mickey right. Mickey hit that dead on the head because she's a true Cowboy fan.
Finish him.
Matter of fact, Mickey, I got to give you one of these new buttons. Let me go get my new button for you now. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you the Super Dracaris.
Dracaris.
Light it up, Mick. Oh, light it up. Light it up. Yeah. So for anybody thinking that a receiver coming in here anytime soon, this is why I'm giving you the measure Kool-Aid today to tell you, no, sir. You ain't gonna see no receivers, dog. I'm just letting you know. No time soon. If they was $1, he wouldn't do it. If they was $1. If Odell Beckham was like, you know what? I want to be a Cowboy so bad, I would take $1. Steven would say,
finish him.
No.
You are fake news.
Exactly what would happen. So yeah, man, that is the fact. Now, I did say the timing, okay, and how. Let me take a call before I get into the timing. Let me just take a call first. Because I don't wanna get too deep into this content. Let me see. Let me look at the chat. Dara, you say call you. Dara, what's your number? Or go call in now. Ain't nobody calling. Call in. Dara, call in. Hopefully you got the number. If you don't got the number, let me post the number. Here's the number. All right. So Dara, I got it. So call on in. Yeah. But we just telling the truth, man. Listen, I'm just me and Mickey, see, don't be mad at me, be mad at me and Mickey, because we just telling you what's likely getting ready to happen, man. Just being honest. We just telling you the truth. Boss Cowboy Sports. Cowboy? What's up, Dar?
Hey, you know, you were talking to the last caller about
Tariq.
About Amari, right?
He did most of the talking, but
yeah, but
talked
y'all
about
brought
Tariq.
up Amari, right?
Yeah.
Because I was listening to you guys, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. He made some very valid points, just like you have been on these receivers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, like, they did some petty stuff like that because they petty. Like you said in your last video from last time, whenever you did your last show, you said the Joneses are being petty because of the things they've been doing on certain stuff. So
no,
I agree with you on that.
Hold on, Dur.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I said it can appear that they're petty.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to twist your words or whatever. But
yeah, go ahead.
If you think about it, the way everything went down, that was petty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the way they handled it. You know what I'm saying? Because they traded a first round for him and then let him go for a fifth round because they didn't like whatever they didn't like about it or whatever, and he's gone. So,
okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's petty in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you how I'm thinking, because that's how I feel, because he did so well for us. Now I understand the money part and all this, that, and the other. That's water under the bridge. But at the same time, you got these receivers that are doing well, and I agree with you on the part that Will Fuller would be a good fit for us. But at the same time, we got to do it at the right time if we need be and need to, because we don't know how these other receivers are going to do, because we're not even into the season yet. We haven't even had a preseason game yet. So we got to see. But at the same time, I know that we may have to make a mid-season trade. And I would think it would be a good time to sign Will Fuller, but like you said, week 8 is probably the best time. Okay, it's probably when we're going to see it. So, I mean, but like I told Law last show, it don't matter what we do as long as we play as a team and learn to win as a team and play as a family, because that's what the Cowboys Nation is and the Cowboys team. They say they are, is they play as one and play as a family. Well, if that's the case, in spite of everything that you're going through, let's win this thing. Let's go 15-2 and win an NFC East championship, and let's make a run to the Super Bowl, regardless of what's going on. And the next question I had to ask you before I get off of here is, because I was watching Stargang a little bit ago, and Pick Six podcast, and they were talking about Philbin, Coach Philbin, right? And they were saying we should get rid of Philbin because he didn't really agree with the Tyler Smith pick. He didn't really want to coach him up or something to that effect. But that's not the point. The point of it is you're supposed to be the offensive line coach. You're supposed to be able to coach up your offensive line. Now, if we can't get a running game going, what makes you think we're going to not have problems with the passing game? Because Kellen Moore, in his lack of no identity offense, like you've been saying. See what I'm saying? So, but regardless, we need to win. I mean, the way I see it, the defense is going to be championship material this year anyways because of who we got and the depth we got. And Trevon Diggs and Michael Parsons and Sam Williams and Anthony Barr and Jaron Kearse and Malik Hooker and all that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm thinking. What is your opinion on getting rid of Philbin? What I was asking you. Do you think we should or what?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's why I wanted to ask your opinion. I don't really agree with that.
And I'm going to say it like this. I think it's way too much being made of him not wanting Tyler Smith.
Right.
Because the problem is when stuff like that come out, a lot of times the context of why is left also.
Right.
Because it could be some reasons why, right?
Right.
It could have been, and I'm just throwing out some scenarios. It could have been that he didn't want Tyler Smith because he has faith in McGovern.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he could have been thinking, hey, we don't need to get this guy right now. And it's nothing wrong with being wrong if he's wrong on when the guy was drafted, because guess what? If we go fire him for not wanting Tyler Smith, then we should fire everybody who didn't pick Dak top 4.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's a whole lot of people passed up on Dak. It's a whole lot of people passed up on Lamar Jackson.
Right.
But that don't mean when they come in at your building that you don't say, okay, I'm gonna coach you up. You're my son now. I didn't want you when it was time to get you, but now that you're here, I'm going to give you all to get you to where you need to be.
Right.
So,
and
I also,
that's why
just being fair,
Boss Cowboy.
Just being fair, too, I just want to be fair about one thing. I also didn't fully research all the details of what so-called happened with him not wanting him. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not all the way caught up on that yet. But what I'm saying is, based on what I'm hearing, is that he didn't want Tyler Smith, so he should be fired. I think that just kind of... I think that's just... I don't even know the word for it, but I would say premature, for sure.
Right. But see, that's why I watch your show. That's why I share your stuff. That's why I, tell people to get them lights up and share your stuff, because you're teaching me something. And I love my Cowboys just like you do. And with us being real Cowboys fans, we want the Cowboys to do great things and be championship material and go to a championship and win a championship because we're real Cowboys fans. We should have them expectations, like you say. And when I call into your show, I bring nothing but passion and I bring love. And I learn from you because I pick up things from the shows that you put on. I share your stuff because you're always bringing facts along with the people that are there with you. And you guys are family to me. You're teaching me something. I mean, I'm not as knowledgeable. I don't have nowhere sure I have the knowledge that you have or some of the other guys that are in the chat. But still, I love my Cowboys, and I will always be a Cowboys fan even when we're losing and we're not doing as well as I say we can do and think we can do. I will always support my Cowboys no matter what. That's what a real, true Cowboys fan, that's what it means to be a real, true Cowboys fan. Yeah. Period.
Thanks.
You know? So, much love, Boss Cowboy. I haven't got to talk to you in a while because I've been working a lot, but I just wanted to call in and get your thoughts on this receiver thing. And who do you think we might trade for if we trade for a receiver? That was my next question because I was thinking maybe Tyler Lockett or somebody, or who do you think?
Okay, I'm going to get into that once we get off the phone because that's my next point.
Okay, no problem, brother. Much love, boss.
All right, Dur. Fire call.
Dracarys.
Bye.
Fire call, Dur. All right, I want to definitely take this comment right here because K. Hay said that's the point he was making. He said Philbin doesn't want to coach him. So let me be honest, y'all. I'm going to be all the way honest. I'm going to measure this Kool-Aid real quick. All right, I'm finna measure it. Here we go. Oh, my Kool-Aid button didn't work.
It's a big thing for Boss Cowboy to actually say publicly that he drunk Kool-Aid. Listen, I do not drink Kool-Aid without first measuring.
All right. So I really got to measure this because let's just think about it. You, Joe Philbin, your backup is Tyron Smith. Your guard was Connor Williams. You had to move Steele around, who was stabilizing that right tackle. And the very first pick is for your room. And you and people really believe, I just want to really get this. People really believe that he didn't want him. Just think about that. With all the changes that the offensive line went through, y'all mean to tell me that y'all really believe that he was sitting in the war room like, no.
You are fake news.
Bro, just sometimes, just being honest, sometimes I think we got to think through some of these rumors. Just think about it. Like, why would you... Okay. If I'm the defensive back coach, okay, I wasn't big on Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner wasn't just like everybody else thought he was to me. I might be wrong on that. But if I'm the DB coach and you give me Sauce, I'm not coaching him. Bro, are you serious, bro? Do you really, bro, can we just use our common sense? Do you really think that Philbin go be like, I don't want to coach him? Even if he didn't think he was the ideal pick, do you really think the first pick going in your room, he was like, no? So, like, I'm not talking about that shit, bro, just to be honest. Because the more and more I hear about it, the more and more I know this bullshit, dog. Just being honest. The more and more I hear, like, bro, it's just, dog, it don't make no sense. Like, it makes zero sense, bro. I'm gonna just tell you, dog, it straight up is fake news. Fake ass news. It's obvious.
You are fake news.
Oh yeah, I don't want to coach him. And then you go, okay, so you don't want to coach him, but Will McClay picked this guy. Jerry co-signed this guy. Steve, all your bosses want this guy, but you over here like, but I don't want him. You believe that? Sometimes just to me, bro, sometimes we got to give some of these rumors a little bit of thought. And I'm going to just say it like this. Sometimes these news take advantage of slow days. That's all this is. This is a slow day. They was expecting them not to have no practice. That was going to be all in the news. You want to go get the highlights. So let's drop this right when it's going to be slow for a second. So, and then on top of that, it's a whole lot of stuff that I like that Philbin did. See, when Mike McCarthy called it Madden for Zach Martin to move to right tackle, guess who did it? Philbin. That's something you would have never seen under the past 15 years, especially under Garrett. You wasn't going to see Zach Martin move to right tackle. Even though he wasn't a superstar at right tackle, at the time when Steele was suffering as a rookie, it was the right move, and he did it. Oh, let's not forget what all of us was saying, including me, when it was time to start Steele versus the Chargers. I was like, no, not against Bosa. I was saying it loud. Guess who was like, no, put that dude out there. One-on-one. He ready. When everybody else was on Steele, who was like, and who was lobbying to keep Steele at right tackle? It was Philbin. Who was the person that had La'el Collins playing right tackle and left guard and was trying to move him to the left guard? It was Philbin. I think Philbin is a target because he's an easy target. I don't think it's well thought out at all. I don't think most people thinking this stuff through. I think most of these people just kind of going with the common gossip talking points. Just being honest, the common gossip. It's just gossip. It's not thought out. I'm just being honest, man. This people been on Philbin, and I don't have no. I'm not trying to be right on Philbin. I don't have no personal reason to be like I just like him. I'm talking about specific reasons. I'm giving you reasons. When I saw him over and over lobby for what was common sense, I put it like this: if Philbin would have had his way, we would have seen at least La'el Collins play some left guard. And maybe it would have failed because that hip was an issue. And with that hip being the issue, maybe he didn't have the power for left guard, but a lot of us at least wanted to see it. So I'm not, and then I'm going to tell you why Philbin name is all in mud like that, because the fan talks about him constantly and they wrong. They talk about Philbin need to get fired. And the only reason they saying that is because they blaming him for the breakdown of the offensive line on the second half of the season, which it was actually not his fault. Because if you go look into the real facts, the facts of what Jerry said clearly that Philbin was lobbying for Steele to start over La'el when the whole world was against it. So then when La'el gets into the right tackle position and we not as run dominant as we was in the first 8 games,
the guy that they was lobbying to get out there, because it was also a lot of people on the fan, I ain't gonna call no names, that was lobbying for that. We need Lyle out there because he just clearly better, and that is a damn lie. So then when it fell apart, instead of owning it and saying, you know what, I was wrong, Steele was playing better, they flipped it to blame Philbin for their dumb idea. That's real. I'm still waiting on somebody to do a side-by-side comparison like me and the OC did on Steele versus Lyle. All these so-called film guys and all these so-called offensive line gurus, not one did a side-by-side. So to me, we just, listen, man. I think we just got to do a better job of reading between the lines on the BS that's being put out there. I don't think Philbin is running from coaching. I don't. Because he took on an undrafted free agent named Steele and worked with him and worked with him and worked on. That is the definition of taking on coaching, in my opinion. But see, I'm also not afraid to stand against the crowd. I've went against the crowd many times. I've been wrong, but I've been right more than wrong. Everybody thought I was wrong on that middle linebacker. Everybody thought I was wrong and the OC was wrong on Steele. Yeah, I wasn't wrong on that. But I was also by myself on that. I would stand by myself on Philbin. I would stand alone. I would let the gossip be what it is, gossip. And I will tell you the facts on his decisions and how he tried to do what was best for us. So let me get back into this receiver, and then I'm going to take some calls. Hold on, I got somebody blowing me up. Let me take this call. BossCowboySports.
Boss.
Yo.
Look, man, let me, I had to call back, man.
All right, what's up?
Now, and I got to give my 2 cents. I heard about this Philbin thing before I called. I talked to Law today, and I made the reference about, about running away from coaching. But I wasn't making that reference about Joe Philbin. I was making a reference about why in the world, if he did have any type of somebody he might have wanted to pick, what in the world is this type of story coming out from, quote, people that's in the building? This is Cowboy fans. We don't see sabotage. Listen here. I believe this same thing was reported by the same person that reported that C.D. Lamb, the team questioned that C.D. Lamb was a dog.
Oh, it was
the same person reported about
Bobby Belt?
The demise of Ezekiel Elliott and that he'll be gone.
It was Bobby Belt? Because that's who reported to C.D. Lamb. And then also, Coach, I didn't know you said that he was running from coaching, so I wasn't talking at you, FYI, at all.
Yeah, but I heard you mention, but I had said, but see, listen, the person that can destroy the stars and the continuity of the team is the ones that you feel that are friends, that are really Cowboy fans, but they're really not.
Coach, you got to explain that. You can't talk like Socrates on that. Say it clear and plain. Because I know what you said, but I want you to say it clear and plain.
Okay. If people like Bobby Belt is in the room and he's in the building, these are the people that report these same reports about all these negative things about our stars, that stars the fans in a frenzy to get on this bandwagon of get rid of Zeke. C.D. Lamb ain't a number one wide receiver. Oh, they picked the number one the offensive line, and the offensive line coach really didn't want it. Mike McCarthy has to be more involved in the offense. This is a make or break year with him in the offense.
Yeah.
All this comes from the same source.
Oh. Interesting.
If I'm right, if I'm telling something that ain't true, but it all comes from the same source. And when you entrust these people to be in the building, great organizations do not allow you to fracture their stars.
Oh, say it, Coach. Say it. Say it, Coach.
They don't allow you to fracture their stars because if the groundswell and the confidence of the fan base is not with the stars, you lose the fan base. I just don't understand how you let people crush your stars with stuff that really, if you look at it, and you look at film and you look at production, it don't equate. But when they throw it out there, everybody runs with it.
Yep.
How can you bring a story out like this and the guy hasn't even played against no other competition yet?
You are fake news.
Fake news.
What? My question is, what reason was it for this story? So this is what I'm saying. That's why we watch. That's why we tune into your show, and the fellow YouTubers that I talk to. Because listen, yes, we talk about the dirt, but we don't talk about the dirt without evidence.
Right. Yeah.
Because just think about it, Cowboy fans. What good is that going to bring to the confidence of a young guy that's trying to make his way?
Don't make sense. Fake news.
And he hasn't even played. He hasn't even played in a preseason game yet. He hadn't hit nobody other than Dallas Cowboy people. Yet
you are fake news.
A different guy in practice from a different team.
You are fake news.
Yeah. These are the stories that I tell you when they talk about these things. It's an outright attack on our stars, and you can't tell me, and I may be wrong about this. If I allow you in my organization and in my building, and you are privy to these type of conversations, this is why I love, you know something? This is why I love Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells. You know why I love them? Because they treated the moles inside the building like garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they shut them down. And that's why they talk so, they'll get it, but they said, we give you no information because you're only going to use it with the logo on your chest to hurt us.
Yep. Yeah.
I just don't understand why these type of articles come out. How can you, and how can our fans listen to fake news? Or if it isn't fake, what reason?
It don't make sense.
If you're a Cowboy fan for this to come out.
It makes no sense, like 0 sense. It's not even worthy of us to even talk about it, to be honest. It's fake news. Let me say something real quick, Coach. They all know this too. Bobby Belt said this, and I want y'all to understand the mentality of the media with this. He said, if it bleeds, it reads. So the more painful, the more eyeballs. Y'all got to figure that out. Everybody, we got to figure that out. And this is the other part of it. If it's no bleeding, they will create the blood and still write about it. They will create the blood. Yeah, it's what it is. And so if we don't learn that even to see, because we talk about this like this is an outside thing. No, those inside journalists like you talking about that be all in the star, all of that. They also got quotas and they know how to move the needle. If they're negative on their own guys, it reads. It goes viral. Right. It's how it is.
And you know something, boss, I love what Dan Quinn said at the podium. You spoke about this the other day. See, that's how you shut it all down earlier. I'm not looking around that corner.
He shut it down.
And I ain't answer no more questions about that.
Yep, Dan Quinn was perfect, wasn't he? He was perfect.
Yep, and
I'm talking about
and
that.
he made it clear Then I ain't answering no more questions out there. If you ask me a question, hey, there ain't no interview.
Ain't no interview.
That's it.
And see, because I'm going to say this. It's a lot of people that take a lot of pride in I'm media. You know what I'm saying? I'm an insider. See, you got to be real careful, man. You got to be real careful. Because sometimes there's a privilege to being an insider. Sometimes you carrying water for front office. You're a water carrier. Meaning when they need a certain story out there, they say, come here, boy. Come here. Come here, boy. Come here, girl. I need you to get this story out. Yeah. And they lapdog their ass right up there. Yeah, I'm going to write it, sir. Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir, boss. So that the next little secret that can be only through me, you go feed me like a bird feed his little babies. Yeah, so we got to know that. It's sometimes being an insider could also make you an outsider to what's important.
That's why the organizations in the last 20 years, like the New England, by the time you find out some information, it's already been done, already solved. By the time you find out, they had already discussed it, solved it, and then moved on.
It's 10 years later, it done came out.
Yeah, 10 years later. But I want to say, I'm going to say this right quick. I put in the post, but when you was talking about the offense, let's get back. No. But listen, Tom, I said this, and I want you to expound on this. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady mastered the art of using system and matchup football together.
Yes.
I.e., Moss and Gronkowski.
Yes.
They had a system in New England, but he knew when to attack with his stars.
Yeah.
Which made them hard to, because when you got system and matchup together, that's a hard offense to stop, boss.
Yes, you can't stop it. You can't stop it because you don't know what's coming.
And
then all the scheme and the stuff you try to do to confuse that offense, it's gonna hit you right in your mouth. Because now we going out to
leave Gronkowski because you're trying to do all this and leave him without support over the safety, and next thing you know,
you cook.
They done went from the system and hit Gronkowski right down the seam.
Yep.
And then come right back.
Yep.
And go right back to the system and catch you slipping and hit Moss or Welker on the fly pattern.
Facts.
Just because you were trying to play games to figure out the system of them doing what they do, but they had you to the point where you had to be stabilized, and then they did whatever they wanted to do.
Right. I mean, I ain't got nothing to add to that. You said it already best.
That's the perfect mixture of system and matchup has been used by Tom Brady his whole career.
It's facts. Even in the Super Bowl with Tampa, they went right to them playmakers to win that thing. That's exactly what he did. It was Gronk and Antonio Brown. Yeah.
And
Mr. Toxic himself was the reason they won the Super Bowl.
And said, okay, I got found out they have a hard time guarding us down the field because they call the PIs. So he attacked. That's the smartest of him. He said, okay, we can get past interference calls. I'm quite sure there ain't nothing in your system say attack these areas because you may get a PI call. He knew the floor of the game, and he attacked with the floor of the game. That's how you play. That's how you think as a coordinator, as a quarterback, and that's how our coordinator has to tell our quarterback, like John Kitna said. Sometimes you got to say, man, I'm going to let it rip. That's it. No. Just a little bit.
A
little bit.
It ain't no ripping here yet, though. It ain't no ripping, coach. Ain't no ripping. You got Dak telling these boys, I need you in a spot. That's how I want you to be. If you go play for me, I want you at a spot. Yeah. Dak is fully
but I
owning
said
the
this
system.
before, man, and I said it again. I said this a while back, boss. I love Dak. I think Dak is a top 5 quarterback.
No doubt.
But you cannot allow a person to take you down a rabbit hole because you don't know nothing else. That's all he knows is the system.
Yeah, he trusted.
That's all he knows.
He trusted. And it's been good to him. He sat down many of third quarters because of this system. He sat down, but at the same time, it's disappointed you in big games. And that changeup that you talked about is the perfect changeup to where it's matchup and system, not just system.
Yeah, because anytime you start getting in trouble, this is what I always say. When your offense start getting in trouble and it gets bogged down, the defense start to kind of confuse you. You go out and say, "Hey, I'm gonna get the ball. We're gonna get the ball to the stars, and we're gonna loosen this defense up, and then we can get back. Let's let them eat a little bit more, and then we can get back to the full buffet. But right now, we're gonna focus on these stars right quick, because that's who you pay. That's who gets you out of the trouble that you in. That's it. And I think he may learn that, boss. I think hopefully you learned that, and I know they're listening. We'll see a difference. But yeah, like I said, man, kill this fake news, man. This fake news is crazy, man, and it's coming from the same source over and over again. It's killing me. It's just really killing me.
I didn't even know it came from Bobby. But yeah,
coming
Coach,
from the same source, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll holler, boss.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it. And I agree with this comment. It was the front seven. Yeah. The main reason they won was the front seven T, Tampa. But when it was time to score, go look at who Tom Brady was targeting. He was targeting Gronk and Antonio Brown when it was time to cash in. So, yeah, the heart of that was the defense, I agree. But I'm just talking about what Coach was talking about, how Tom Brady will mix playmakers with the system. And when it's clutch time, notice he went at the playmakers in the big moments. Because everybody not made for big moments, man. Let's just be honest, man. Everybody not made. Zeke made for that moment. Amari made for that moment. CD made for that moment. I would even throw in there Pollard. They made for them big moments. That big catch, that big run. You can't be over here like, hey, Schultz, go pull this out for us in the clutch one-on-one. You will get disappointed, man. So, real quick, all right. So I want to talk real quick about these weapons a little bit and talk about the timing, right? Because we talked about when would probably be the time. So we talked about 8 games, right? But what would be the scenario? Because it ain't just 8 games. It would have to be 8 games mixed with an abysmal performance from our receivers. If it's not an abysmal performance, we not gonna make no changes at receivers. So the only way, and I'm just being honest with y'all, I'm being all the way honest as I'm dissecting these tea leaves. The only way you go see the Dallas Cowboys in 2022 bring in any receiver, the only way is you go have to see that receiving core looking like straight burnt trash. Just like 2017. We gonna have to have a whole repeat of 2017. If that receiving core is okay, it's just okay, Steven is not gonna trade even a 6th rounder. He not. He wouldn't trade a 7th rounder for Mills. He wouldn't. And I'm just being honest with you. So, like, I'm just giving the real historical measured Kool-Aid of the mystery of receiver and what's likely to happen. Like, I can get my hopes up and say, man, they need to get a receiver. They need to get a receiver. They're not going to get a receiver. And
they don't want to disrupt what they got. They got a whole lot of men in there that's bought in to this system. They are bought in. I got to get to a spot. I got to get to a spot. Go listen to all of them talk. So if you're Stephen Jones, this is what you thinking if you Stephen Jones. I'm going to finally get a chance to have an offense that's exactly what I've been wanting. I've been wanting a system offense even before Kellen Moore was my coach. We got the guys in here that are preaching the doctrine of no ID and that system philosophy. They trying to get to spots. They trying to learn how to read a defense so that they can be in the right spot consistently. This is what he wanted. Yeah. And it was likely him that did not want Amari Cooper when we got him. So you got to realize, Stephen Jones, when he got an idea, he go follow that thing through to hell. Never forget, he was the one person on planet Earth that didn't want Deion Sanders for that price. And he was so determined to be right that it's on record that he jacked Jerry Jones up against a wall because he was mad that his daddy signed Deion at that price. Now, we all remember the outcome of signing Deion. It was phenomenal. You got your corner. You got you a 14 receiver. You got your punt returner. You got your kickoff returner. One year, he played corner and receiver full time. And that man's still not in the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. I would bet it's because of Steven. And that's why I always say, just keeping it real, never go where people bet against you, because they go always try to make themselves appear right. Always go where they bet on you. Always. So why Cooper is gone? Amari Cooper gone is likely gone because he was never wanted. This man wanted his vision of a committee system, and he been wanting before Kellen Moore. So, could he be right? He could be. He really could. I'm not even capping. He might be seeing something that the rest of us ain't seeing. But I think we seeing it pretty clear. I'm being honest. Because I think this system is not too hard to break down. If you show some disguises to this system, this is the thing. If you show some disguises to this system like the Cardinals did, right? If you show disguises to this system, you might not confuse Dak, because Dak is better at reading the defense because he has to do it all day long. But you know who you might confuse? Tolbert, Houston, Dennis Houston. See, Dak is going to be better at recognizing y'all trying to run a disguise. That's y'all really not serious about this single high. Y'all finna rotate them safeties and y'all finna run two high safeties. That's a disguise. Pre-snap. But you know who probably go read it wrong? Who you depending on to read it right? Your rookie weapons and your weapons without experience. See, because when you running in a no ID offense, everybody got to be smart. Everybody got to be on the same page or the system breaks down. But when you running a matchup offense, that's more so about my best guy versus your guy, and I just need my guy to win. It's also easier for a younger guy to assimilate too. So if Tolbert can just worry about winning versus reading, what happens when you're a slow reader? Are you gonna play fast or play slow? You're a rookie. You trying to learn this new system. Huh? Are you go play fast or slow?
Dracarys.
But maybe there's a possibility, because I can't say this, being honest, being real and transparent. It's times Steven was right and I was wrong. A lot of times too. He was right on Anthony Brown. Even though it took him 6 years to be right, he was right. Hopefully he right on Noah Brown. It took him 6 years on that too. Because if he right, then we go to the Super Bowl. And I did all these videos for nothing. But if I'm right, what's going to happen is we going to have some good numbers again. We going to win us a lot of games. We going to come up in the postseason. We might win one game from this, but then we going to get hit in the mouth. I'm just being honest with you. Even with as great as this D is, that I'm not expecting this defense to carry us for 4 games in a row versus the best of the best. Because at that time, you're going to be going against the best of the best coaches, the best talent, the best history. So, yeah, I think it goes back to what Rome said. We need him to figure it out. But yeah, man, this is another one of those Boss Cowboy Sports where your voice matter, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like. Y'all make sure y'all hit that share. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Man, I'm going to be back tomorrow with some more measured Kool-Aid. Oh, but I ain't going nowhere. I want to say something real quick before I go, because I ain't going nowhere. I want to talk about something real quick. I dropped this video right here, right? I think some people misunderstanding this video. Let me be clear on this video. Because some people thinking that I'm saying that the Joneses didn't mess up with Amari and that they didn't mess up with Randy Gregory. No, they did. They clearly messed up. What I'm saying in this video, I want to be real clear. What I'm saying is I don't have no problem. I have no problem with them even using their error to cause accountability to the guys that got contracts. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they was right about Amari. Matter of fact, I know they wasn't right about Amari. They wanted Randy Gregory and thought he was signed. They thought they had that deal done. So I know it's hypocrisy to stand up in the press conference and say that we need availability. It's hypocrisy. I know it is. But I'm clear on this. I don't even mind you standing up with that hypocrisy and saying, yeah, but we need everybody that's on this team to still give 100% if we paid you, because we looking at getting a return on the investment, period. See, you don't have to be pure when you're trying to get fear out of the guys you paid. You don't got to be pure. You just got to be like, bruh, I can be a bad boss, but this is the deal. You better respect and fear me because I'm watching my return on investment. Yeah. Even if I was a hypocrite, I need you to know that I'm watching, and I need my stars to know that. That's what I was saying in that video. I'm not saying I agree with how they handled Amari and Randy. I'm not. I want to be very clear on that. But anyway, man, yeah, man, it's Boss Cowboy Sports, man. Where your voice matter, man. We finna get on out of here, man. Y'all stay up, hit them likes on the way out. Thank you, Choctaw, for giving them that reminder to do that. But y'all stay up, man. Y'all voice matters. It always will. Peace.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Boss Cowboy Sports.